Ladies and gentlemen, great leaders don't demand loyalty, they earn it. They don't force action, they inspire it. The most influential leaders throughout history, in business, in movements, and in everyday life, all have one thing in common. They give people something to believe in. They don't just lead by authority, they lead by purpose. People don't follow because of titles, they follow because they feel something, because they believe in the same cause, the same mission, the same higher purpose. That belief is what moves people. That belief is what creates real action, not just compliance. When people feel inspired, they don't just show up. They bring their hearts and minds with them. The greatest organizations and teams aren't built on rules alone. They are built on a shared sense of purpose. Too many leaders try to lead with numbers, with strategies, with incentives. But real leadership goes beyond metrics and policies. It starts with why we do what we do. And when people understand and believe in that why, they give their best, not because they have to, but because they want to. Look at any team that achieves great things, and you'll find something powerful at the center. Trust. Trust is the foundation of inspiration. When people trust their leaders, they take risks, they innovate, they push past fear. But trust isn't given, it's earned. It's earned through consistency, through honesty, through putting people before profit and principles before short-term gains. Think about the leaders who have left the biggest impact. They didn't just talk about what needed to be done. They showed up. They stood for something greater than themselves. They made people feel seen, heard, and valued. Leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. When people feel safe, they thrive. When people feel inspired, they move mountains. Leadership is about creating an environment where people can be their best, where they feel part of something bigger than themselves. It's not about power, it's about service. It's not about control, it's about connection. Too many organizations operate on fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of change. But the best leaders don't use fear as a tool, they use vision. They paint a picture of the future so compelling that people want to be part of it. They create cultures where it's okay to fail, where learning is valued, where taking a step forward is more important than avoiding mistakes. People don't buy into what you do, they buy into why you do it. And the same is true for leadership. If all you offer is rules and tasks, people will do the minimum. But if you offer purpose and belief, people will give their all. The difference between a boss and a leader is simple. A boss demands results, a leader inspires them. A boss controls, a leader empowers. A boss focuses on the short term, a leader builds for the future. If you want to inspire action, start with yourself. Live the values you want others to follow. Speak the truth even when it's hard. Show people they matter, not just as employees, but as human beings. Because leadership isn't about being at the top. It's about lifting others up. True leaders don't rely on titles or power. They inspire action by giving people a strong sense of purpose and belief. Leadership is built on trust, not fear. When people feel safe and valued, they take risks, innovate, and give their best efforts. People don't follow because of what you do, but because of why you do it. A clear purpose drives loyalty, motivation, and lasting impact. Great leaders don't seek power, they empower others. Leadership is about creating an environment where people can thrive and grow. Fear-based leadership limits potential, but a compelling vision of the future inspires people to take meaningful action and achieve greatness. Leadership is not about power, position, or authority. It's about inspiration. The most influential leaders in history did not command people to follow them. They inspired people to believe in something greater than themselves. They gave people a reason to care, a reason to act, and a reason to commit to something beyond their own self-interest. People do not respond to authority in the same way they respond to inspiration. When a leader relies solely on their position, people may obey, but they will not give their best. They may follow instructions, but they will not be fully invested in the mission. Compliance is not the same as commitment. A true leader understands that their role is not to dictate, but to ignite a sense of purpose in those they lead. Inspiration comes from authenticity. People can sense when a leader genuinely believes in their mission and when they are simply playing a role. Those who inspire action do so because they are deeply connected to their purpose. They are not just giving orders, they are leading by example. They embody the values they preach, and in doing so, they create a movement, not just a following. Consider the difference between a manager who enforces rules and a leader who shares a vision. The manager might get short-term results through pressure and incentives, but the leader fosters long-term dedication by giving people something to believe in. Employees in organizations with inspiring leaders don't just work for a paycheck. They work because they feel they are contributing to something meaningful. They see their efforts as part of a larger mission rather than just completing tasks for the sake of compliance. The most successful companies, movements, and teams are built by leaders who understand this fundamental truth. They know that people don't want to be controlled. They want to be part of something that matters. They want to know that their efforts make a difference, that their contributions are valued, and that their work aligns with a greater purpose. Inspiration is contagious. When a leader shows genuine passion, dedication, and belief in their cause, others naturally follow. It creates a ripple effect. One person inspired by a leader goes on to inspire others, building a culture where motivation and engagement are not forced but natural. This is why organizations with strong leadership cultures consistently outperform those that rely on rigid hierarchies and rules. Great leaders don't just talk about what needs to be done, they show why it matters. They create an emotional connection to the work, making people feel part of a journey rather than just a workforce. They don't just communicate goals, they tell stories that move people to act. They don't demand loyalty, they earn it by caring about the people they lead. A leader who inspires understands that people give their best not because they have to, but because they want to. When people are truly inspired, they bring more than just their skills and labor, they bring their hearts and minds. Trust is the foundation of all great leadership. Without trust, people may follow instructions, but they will never fully commit. They may comply out of obligation, but they will not bring their best ideas, their creativity, or their passion to the table. Trust is what transforms a group of individuals into a team, an organization into a movement, and a leader into an inspiration. Trust is not something that can be demanded. It must be earned. It is built over time through consistency, honesty, and a genuine concern for others. People trust leaders who do what they say they will do, who stand by their values even when it is difficult, and who prioritize the well-being of those they lead over personal gain. When a leader proves that they are reliable, that they will protect and support their people, they create an environment where individuals feel safe to take risks, to speak up, and to push boundaries. A culture of trust is what allows innovation to thrive. In organizations where trust is lacking, people hesitate to share new ideas for fear of criticism or failure. They play it safe, sticking only to what is expected of them. But when leaders create an environment of psychological safety, where failure is seen as a step toward growth rather than a reason for punishment, people feel free to experiment, to think differently, and to push beyond the status quo. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history happened because people trusted their leaders enough to take bold risks. Trust also strengthens relationships. People are more engaged and motivated when they believe their leaders genuinely care about them. A leader who listens, who values the opinions of their team, and who demonstrates empathy earns trust naturally. People do not follow leaders because of their title. They follow because they believe the leader has their best interests at heart. Leaders who lead with empathy and integrity create loyalty that cannot be bought or enforced. It is given freely. In moments of crisis, trust becomes even more essential. When uncertainty arises, people look to their leaders for guidance. If trust has been built, they will rally together, working through challenges as a united team. If trust is absent, fear and doubt take over, leading to confusion, disengagement, and breakdowns in communication. The strength of a team or organization is not tested when things are easy, but when they are difficult. Those with strong foundations of trust emerge stronger from adversity, while those without it begin to fall apart. A leader's ability to inspire action is directly tied to the level of trust they cultivate. Trust fosters loyalty, it fuels motivation, and it builds cultures where people do more than just show up. They invest themselves fully. The most successful leaders understand that trust is not a one-time achievement. It is an ongoing commitment. It is reinforced in every interaction, in every decision, and in every moment where integrity is chosen over convenience. People don't follow because of what you do, they follow because of why you do it. The most inspiring leaders, organizations, and movements understand that purpose drives action more than any strategy, product, or service ever could. When people connect with a deeper reason, a belief, or a cause, they don't just engage with their minds, they engage with their hearts. This is what creates loyalty, passion, and long-term commitment. Many leaders and businesses focus on the what and the how. They spend time explaining what they offer, what their goals are, and how they plan to achieve them. While these details are important, they do not inspire people to take action. What truly moves people is the deeper reason behind the work. It is the belief that fuels every decision, every innovation, and every challenge faced along the way. The why is the emotional core that makes people care. When people understand the why behind an organization or a movement, they become invested in its success. They are not just employees working for a paycheck, they are individuals contributing to something meaningful. They are not just customers buying a product, they are supporters of a mission that aligns with their own values. This is the difference between a company that has employees and a company that has a passionate team. It is the difference between a business that has customers and a business that has a loyal following. Purpose-driven leadership is what turns ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. When people believe in a cause, they will push beyond obstacles, work harder, and remain committed even in difficult times. They are not driven by external pressure, but by an internal motivation to contribute to something they believe in. This is why some organizations thrive even when faced with challenges, because the people within them are united by a shared sense of purpose. Leaders who start with why create cultures of inspiration. They don't need to constantly remind people of what to do because their teams are already driven by a deeper understanding of why their work matters. This kind of leadership fosters creativity, innovation, and resilience. People are willing to go the extra mile because they see their role as part of a bigger picture, not just a task to be completed. When organizations fail to communicate their why, they risk becoming just another option in a crowded marketplace. Employees disengage, customers lose interest, and the mission becomes unclear. Without purpose, people lose motivation, but when leaders consistently reinforce the deeper reason behind their work, they create an environment where passion and dedication flourish. Every great leader, movement, or organization that has inspired lasting change has done so by making their why clear. They do not just demand action, they give people a reason to take action. They do not just sell a product or service, they invite people to be part of a belief. This is how true leadership creates not just short-term success, but long-term impact. Leadership is not about being in charge, it is about taking care of those in your charge. The most effective leaders understand that their role is not to command and control, but to serve and empower. People do not respond to authority alone. They respond to a leader who genuinely cares about their growth, well-being, and success. When leadership is built on service rather than control, it creates an environment where individuals thrive, teams function at their best, and organizations achieve long-term success. Empowering others starts with trust. Leaders who micromanage, dictate every step, and operate from a mindset of control create cultures of fear and limitation. In such environments, people hesitate to take initiative, afraid of making mistakes or facing criticism. But when leaders trust their teams and give them the space to make decisions, people gain confidence, take ownership of their work, and contribute in ways that go beyond expectations. When individuals feel empowered, they bring creativity, innovation, and energy to their work, not because they are forced to, but because they are given the freedom to do so. The best leaders do not seek personal recognition. They focus on lifting others up. They celebrate the achievements of their team, give credit where it is due, and support people in reaching their full potential. Instead of using their position to gain power over others, they use it to create opportunities for others to grow. They mentor, guide, and challenge people in ways that help them develop skills and confidence. When people feel supported by their leaders, they become more engaged, more loyal, and more willing to contribute at the highest level. Servant leadership also creates a culture of collaboration. In traditional leadership models based on control, there is often competition, secrecy, and a lack of open communication. People are more concerned with pleasing those in authority rather than working together for a common goal. But when a leader prioritizes service over control, they create an atmosphere where people feel safe to share ideas, support one another, and work as a team. When leaders foster collaboration rather than competition, the entire organization benefits from collective intelligence, creativity, and problem solving. Another key aspect of empowerment is giving people a sense of purpose. Leaders who only focus on results and numbers may achieve short-term success, but they fail to inspire long-term dedication. However, when leaders connect people to a greater mission, when they show them how their work makes a difference, people feel a deeper sense of fulfillment. They do not just show up for a paycheck, they show up because they believe in what they are doing. True leadership is measured not by how much control a person has, but by how much they inspire others to succeed. The strongest teams and organizations are not built through fear or authority, but through a culture of trust, empowerment, and shared purpose. Leaders who serve rather than control leave behind something greater than just their own success. They leave behind people who are stronger, more capable, and ready to lead themselves. Fear-based leadership may produce short-term results, but it stifles long-term growth. Leaders who rely on fear, strict control, or punishment may get people to comply, but they will never inspire them to reach their full potential. In contrast, vision-driven leadership creates lasting momentum. A strong and compelling vision gives people something to strive for, something that excites them, and something that pushes them beyond their perceived limits. When people believe in a vision, they don't just work harder, they become invested in the outcome. People want to know that their efforts contribute to something meaningful. They don't just want to complete tasks, they want to be part of something that matters. When leaders paint a clear picture of the future, one that is bigger than profits, numbers, or immediate success, they ignite passion in those they lead. This passion leads to action, not because people are forced to act, but because they want to be part of making that vision a reality. Fear limits people. It makes them cautious, hesitant, and unwilling to take risks. In a fear-driven environment, people become more focused on avoiding mistakes than on achieving something great. They stick to what is safe, follow rigid rules, and hesitate to share new ideas. Over time, innovation dies, creativity fades, and progress slows. But when leaders replace fear with vision, they give people permission to think boldly, take initiative, and embrace challenges as opportunities. The most successful organizations and teams thrive on possibility, not pressure. Leaders who inspire action do not spend their time enforcing rules or punishing mistakes. Instead, they cultivate an environment where people feel safe to experiment, to challenge the status quo, and to bring their full selves to the work they do. They encourage people to take calculated risks, to learn from failure, and to keep moving forward with confidence. A clear vision also creates alignment. Without a shared direction, people can feel lost or disengaged. They may be working hard, but without a deeper sense of purpose, their efforts feel disconnected. Leaders who communicate a compelling vision ensure that every member of the team understands their role in achieving it. They connect everyday tasks to a greater mission, helping people see how their contributions make a difference. This sense of purpose fuels motivation and commitment. When challenges arise, fear-driven teams tend to crumble under pressure, but vision-driven teams persist because they have something to fight for. They do not see obstacles as reasons to quit, they see them as steps toward the bigger goal. A strong vision acts as a guiding force, helping people push through difficulties with determination and resilience. The difference between fear and vision in leadership is simple. Fear paralyzes, while vision mobilizes. Leaders who inspire action know that the greatest results come not from pressuring people to perform, but from showing them what is possible. They create excitement, belief, and momentum that carry people forward, not because they have to move, but because they want to. Great leadership is not about authority, control, or demanding results. It is about inspiring people to take action, to believe in something greater than themselves, and to commit to a shared vision with their hearts and minds. The leaders who leave a lasting impact are those who create environments of trust, who empower others, and who lead with purpose rather than pressure. They do not command action, they inspire it. People are not moved by rules, policies, or titles. They are moved by belief. They follow leaders who give them a reason to care, who help them see how their contributions matter, and who make them feel valued as individuals. When people believe in the mission, they don't just comply with expectations, they go beyond them. They invest themselves fully, not because they are forced to, but because they want to. This is the essence of leadership. Not dictating outcomes, but creating a culture where people naturally rise to the occasion. Trust is the glue that holds great teams and organizations together. Without trust, people hesitate, they hold back, and they do only what is required of them. With trust, people take initiative, they support one another, and they embrace challenges with confidence. Trust allows creativity to flourish and innovation to thrive because it creates a space where people feel safe to take risks and express their ideas without fear of failure. A leader's ability to build trust is directly tied to their ability to inspire action. People will not give their best to someone they do not trust. At the heart of inspiration is purpose. People do not dedicate themselves to tasks, they dedicate themselves to causes. They do not rally behind statistics, they rally behind a vision that resonates with their values and beliefs. When a leader clearly communicates why their work matters, why it is important, why it is worth the effort, and why it makes a difference, people find meaning in what they do. Meaning fuels motivation, and motivation drives results. The difference between an average leader and a great one is not in their level of authority, but in their ability to empower others. The best leaders do not seek power for themselves, They use their influence to lift others up. They create opportunities for people to grow. They recognize potential where others might overlook it. And they build teams where everyone feels like a vital part of something larger than themselves. Leadership is not about standing above others. It is about standing beside them, supporting them, and helping them reach their full potential. Fear-based leadership may generate short-term compliance, but it cannot create long-term commitment. People do not give their best when they feel pressured or controlled. They give their best when they feel inspired, valued, and connected to a greater vision. Visionary leaders do not just set goals, they ignite passion. They do not just issue instructions, they create movements. They do not just expect results, they cultivate environments where results happen naturally because people are driven by belief rather than obligation. The most powerful leaders in history did not simply manage people, they moved people. They did not just focus on efficiency, they focused on meaning. They understood that leadership is not about getting people to do more, but about giving them a reason to want to do more. True leadership is not measured by how many people follow orders, but by how many people are inspired to take initiative, to push beyond their limits, and to contribute to something greater than themselves. Every great leader leaves a mark not by demanding greatness, but by inspiring it. They challenge people to think bigger, to believe in what is possible, and to take bold action in pursuit of something meaningful. They remind people that leadership is not about status, it is about service. It is about putting others before oneself, about building trust instead of fear, and about creating a legacy that extends far beyond personal success. In the end, leadership is not about what you achieve alone, but about what you inspire others to achieve together.